morning. My name is Debbie Pyatt. I'm a fitness and wellness specialist too with Memorial Health System. This is our Move series, and today I'm going to show you some exercises you can do to help to strengthen those shoulders. If you've had a little bit of a shoulder strain, even some small tears, these are some things you can do to rehab that shoulder or just to make the shoulder stronger so you don't have any issues with them. So what I have here is a resistance band. This is tubing. They also have flat bands. TheraBands are a brand name, but any type of tubing or band is going to work for you. And then you just need something to wrap it around. I'm using a piece of equipment here. Now, with resistance, you have a positive and a positive movement when it comes to doing band work. That means it's positive in one direction and then positive on the return versus positive negative. Why does that matter? Because it's the negative part of a movement. Say I'm lifting a dumbbell. That's the positive part. The negative part is when I control it down, and that actually does more microscopic tears in the muscle, which is a good thing when we're trying to build muscle mass, but not so good when we're trying to do a little bit of therapy or to rehab those shoulders. So that's why we switched to bands. Now with the bands, we're going to do more repetitions than we would with a dumbbell. With a dumbbell, anywhere from 6 to 15 repetitions is the general standard, and then you do this in sets. With the bands, I tell people 15 to 25 repetitions, and then you do multiple sets. So we're going to get started. If you don't have a band at home, they are so easy to find. Every store out there, whether it be any of the big box stores, Target, Walmart, any of those carries them. You can also order them on Amazon, and every color is a different strength. This is a medium weight band, but then company to company, medium weight is not always the blue. So you just have to read the box or read the description if you're ordering online. So we're going to start out here. I'm going to stand back far enough that I have resistance on the band. If you find it's too much resistance, you just simply step forward a little bit, and that's going to give you more slack in the band, and it's not going to be as difficult for you. And actually, just starting out, that's probably a good thing to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is hold my arms in right angles. And I'm going to step back a little bit so I can extend those arms straight out and still have a little bit of resistance. I pull back with that right angle or that lower part of a box, and then I extend. When I pull back, I squeeze my scapula together or squeeze my shoulder blades. Pulling, squeezing the shoulder blades, and then extending out, but using resistance as those arms come back. The band is going to just want to take my arms, but I use control. Now the biggest mistake whenever I see people doing this is they want to pull the bands up like this, or they want to pull the elbows back and pull the bands down. Think about holding a box. You're going to keep that nice right angle at the top of the movement. Keep your shoulders down. I was working with someone yesterday and they had their shoulders up like this trying to do it. Keep the shoulders down. Think about posture and alignment. Squeeze the shoulder blades, pause for a moment, and then extend. Squeeze and extend. My knees are slightly bent because anytime you lock those knees out, you compress the vertebrae of the spine. I'm squeezing my abs. My feet are apart, so I have a nice solid base. Controlling that movement out, contracting it back. All right, so these are rows, and I would recommend you do 15 to 25, just starting out. 15 repetitions is good, but you want to build to 25. I try to do 4 sets of these whenever I'm working, trying to rehab the shoulder, which currently I have an injury on. All right, so those were our rows. Now, these are an inverted V. So again, I have my arms straight, my knees are bent, my feet are apart, and I pull down and out. Extend it back up with straight arms, pulling down and out. Down and out. Down and out. So you can see that inverted V position that I'm hitting. The arms are not just pulling straight back towards my thighs. I'm flaring it out at the bottom, controlling it up. Again, shoulders need to stay down, a nice long neck. Make sure those knees stay slightly bent or relaxed, and keep the arms straight. V it out and up. V it out and up. V it out and up. Control the movement so you have positive resistance in both directions. I'm going to do a few more of these. Abs are tight. Shoulders down. Lengthen that neck. Little pause at the back of the movement. All right, great. Again, 15 to 25 repetitions, 2 to 4 sets, and you only want to rest about 30 seconds in between those sets. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you, I am going to take the hand that is closest to where I have this band secured, and I'm going to put it over my belly button. The other arm is also going to stay in a right angle, hands straight forward, knees are slightly bent. I rotate out, I resist in. I rotate out, I resist in. Now, anytime if you feel like you might have a lightweight band and you're thinking, man, there's not enough resistance on there, simply step away from wherever you have it secured and you're going to create more resistance. So out and in, out and in. This is an abduction because I'm taking the arm out away from the body. This is going to help strengthen that rotator cuff, keep that range of motion in there. 15 to 25 repetitions, shoulders down, feet apart, knees relaxed, long neck, tummy squeezing. Keep that right angle. So we don't want to pull up here, we don't want to pull down here. It goes out and in. I use the example of saying it's like a screen door. Screen door is not going to move. It's simply going to open and close. It's not going to change its vertical alignment. All right, so those are 3 exercises that you can use. I don't like to give people 6 or 10 exercises because I want them to use correct form and have enough time to build 15 to 25 repetitions, 2 to 4 sets, when they're trying to strengthen or rehab the shoulders. Now there's a multitude of other exercises I could show you, but 3 is a good base. That way you can really concentrate on form and you can concentrate on progression to get these shoulders stronger. This is also, even if you don't have the shoulder issue, I always have people coming to me saying, can you give me some posture alignment exercises? Right there. That's going to help to strengthen these muscles so we stay upright and we don't start rounding forward. Remember, the biggest risk of injury when we have poor posture and we start to round forward, even if it's just a little bit, is our center of gravity changes. We've walked for years in this position, upright. This is where the muscle memory is for balance. When we start to round, all of a sudden, our balance has to readjust. And that's not an easy thing to do because muscles do have memory. So when we round and start to go forward, we have a whole nother center of balance we have to find, thus putting ourselves at a higher risk for tripping and falling and causing injury. I have a couple other things I wanted to show you. This is a bouncing foam roller. This is a foam roller. And I am going to do a segment in the near future on exercises and stretches you can do with a foam roller. This is one of the least expensive things out there that you can get that is going to give you the greatest benefit. These cost about $21, $22 online. I've ordered probably over 30 of them, and for other people, left them at gyms that I operate. Very, very important. It's like a deep tissue massage that you can give to yourself. But what I want to show you today for shoulders is when we do start to round forward or when we have a shoulder injury, the muscles atrophy in the chest and we're pulling those shoulders forward. So I want to show you how you can get that stretched out. So I'm going to lie this on the floor, and what you're going to do is be careful when you get on it if you're not used to it, because it's round, it will move. So we're going to set down on that. I'm going to scoot down towards the end a little bit. I'm going to lie back so my head is just off the back edge. The suboccipitals are lying on that edge of that foam roller. Now what we're going to do to stretch out that chest and shoulder is we start with the arms straight up, and very slowly you open those arms. When you get to a point of resistance, stop there. Like I told you, I'm rehabbing my right shoulder, so right there I'm feeling resistance, so I'm stopping it there. I'm going to go ahead and take my left arm down all the way to the floor if you can, and then I'm slowly going to start moving that right arm. Now, I have to wait for the muscles in the chest and the shoulder to lengthen for that arm to slowly lower. I'm not just going to throw it open to the floor. Now, as I've lied here, then those muscles have lengthened, and now I've got that hand all the way down on the floor. This is stretching the chest and the fronts of those shoulders. So important, even if you don't have a shoulder issue, because of poor posture all day long. Like I said, we have shortened the muscles of the chest and overextended the muscles in the upper back. So this is getting the body back to proper alignment. So just hanging out here 30 seconds, a minute. I would not start with a minute. I would start with 30 seconds, building to a minute to 2 minutes, and you can really feel the muscles in the chest starting to extend. Then I like to take the arms up and extend them all the way back to the floor. Again, holding 30 seconds to a minute, not starting out in a minute, starting out at 30 seconds. The last one I do is I hold the arms in right angles and I open them up. You want to let them go as far as they can. Not only am I feeling the stretch in the chest and the fronts of the shoulders, but I am feeling this through my scapula as well, because I've compensated with my injury and rounded forward or carried my body in an incorrect alignment. I have some knots under the shoulder blades. I can feel the pressure of the foam roller pressing against those knots, so that's just like someone taking their thumb in a deep tissue massage, pushing those knots out of there. All right, so if you don't have a foam roller at home, I thoroughly encourage you to invest in one. Like I said, you can get one for about $22. They come in different lengths. This is a 36-inch foam roller. This is the one I recommend that people get. We also have 24, and there's also 18 inches. For the money that you're spending, I would get the larger one. I also have a Bosu ball here. So if you have access to a Bosu ball, flat on one side, rounded on the other, you can lie it on the floor and do the same thing. You might feel a little bit more stable with the Bosu ball because it's not going to move on you. You drop your hips and your bottom off the front, lay back, and you can do the same stretches on it. You can also use a stability ball, Swiss ball, fitness ball, exercise ball. It's called so many things. But the thing with that is there's a little bit of instability if you're lying back over a ball. If you already have an injury and that ball gets away from you, you could do yourself a little bit more harm. So I like things a little closer to the floor, especially if you're trying to rehab an injury. I hope this has helped you today. Like I said, in the near future, I'm going to show you exercises you can do in a foam roller. So please take that $22, $23 and invest in one. So when I put the video out on how you can exercise on a foam roller and stretch, you'll be able to do that with me. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Memorial Health System. This is our Move series. My name is Debbie Pyatt. I'm a fitness and wellness specialist too. I'll be back next Friday. You guys have a great weekend. Bye-bye.